Hey all, this is just a brief introduction on how to use the online web editor. So you log on to the website using your standard login credentials. It pulls you up into an area that allows you to see all your project files. You can scroll through all the things that are owned by you and all the other things you have access to in the normal Fusion. You can create a project. Let's give it a name. We're going to call it Online Engineering Work. And we have to choose an avatar. So this is an empty project space. We're going to create a new project. When we click on that, it's going to open up another browser window. And this is really similar to what we would expect to see in Fusion. You can navigate using the cube. Home, we have a selection of toolbars across the bottom. We can look at pretty much just the model mode right now. You have to go to the full version for more than that. We can save things and export things as well. In the sketch menu, you have a lot of things that you normally can see, like lines and rectangles and whatnot. If we go to create, we can do things like extrude and create primitives. Modify allows us to move things around and do things like chamfer and fillets. We can add construction planes and lines like we're used to. Let's go ahead and create a sketch. Choose this horizontal plane here. Notice it kind of behaves very similar to the regular Fusion. We have a lot of the tools and constraints that we're used to when we create these sort of things. Let's create a rectangle, 200 by 100, put a couple circles here. We can dimension these circles just like we're normally used to. Just kind of doing it randomly here. I'm going to put a line across from the midpoint. Again, this is something that you're pretty used to in Fusion. So midpoint to midpoint. And then I'm going to do one vertically, the same thing. And then I'm going to convert both of these lines to construction lines by clicking on the line and then clicking the X key. Once we have that done, I'm going to stop the sketch. And I have my rectangle. I'm going to extrude and create my plate. I'm going to press pull it up by a couple millimeters and then hit OK. And now I have a 3D object. We're creating a new body. And I have my 3D object. I can orbit around it. Notice my tools are somewhat limited, but you can definitely create some interesting shapes and geometries, and especially you can start here and then move it into the regular Fusion. I can see my bodies listed here. I'm going to export this. I'm going to export it as an OBJ, and then that file I can put anywhere I want. And there's actually some pretty cool AR stuff that we can do with OBJ files, and it's going to save it right to your hard drive, and then you can use this file wherever you need it. Now there are definitely some limitations. Really, you only have access to the modeling environment. So any of the advanced features, things like creating forms and doing tooling and special exports and things like that, you do not have access to. There's also a fair amount in the create sketch environment that is missing. So things like creating patterns and just doing some of the advanced stuff. That gets left out. Another big thing that's sort of left out is material choice. So you can't choose different colors and different types of materials that you're working with. But once again, this is really cool because it's completely online. It does not require any special hardware. This will run on a Chromebook without any trouble whatsoever. And it's a great way to sort of get started without having to worry about downloading the software. And it's also a great way to navigate all your files. So you can see all your files online, create shared links to put them out to people, and actually get comments from other people on your files right through that web environment. Thanks for listening, and I hope you found this useful.